It's right here. Due to a left knee injury, Chloe Bibby will be out for the rest of the season. Now that Chloe Bibby is out for the season, I can't even recall the Indiana Fever dealing with her injury. It's unclear if Caitlin Clark will play any more games this season. Even though she is a red kryptonite, Chloe Bibby is out for the season. That Chloe Bibby's injury has been handled by the Indiana Fever. I'm not out here declaring that Bree Hall is returning to Indianapolis and that Chloe Bibby is out for the season. Chloe Bibby was taken out of the Indiana Fever 2 minutes ago due to a severe knee injury. Her season has ended due to what was formerly referred to as a setback, and it is terrible. It's right here. Due to a left knee injury, Chloe Bibby will be out for the rest of the season. I can't even recall what happened to Chloe Bibby at this point. The manner the Indiana Fever have handled Chloe Bibby's injury is worrisome. Just 2 weeks ago, she was listed as day-to-day, but she was abruptly put back on the roster before being taken off once more. Fans were left wondering what actually happened to her knee after this back-and-forth handling. That Chloe Bibby's injury has been handled by the Indiana Fever. I'm not out here claiming that Chloe Bibby's injuries are due to the Fever training crew. Actually, I'm not claiming that, and I doubt that I'm unaware of it. However, what I mean to say is that 2 weeks ago, Chloe Bibby was classed as day-to-day. 2 weeks ago, she was just going about her daily business, but now she's back to playing. She was practicing every day, and then all of a sudden, she was playing again. Another of our players was told she was back, but she is now out for the season. The year-long absence of Chloe Bibby's Crimson Kryptonite is complete. No Sophie, no Chloe, no Caitlin. Fans now find it more difficult to simply tune in and watch the Fever as a result. After we were told to return for the game, we now have another guy out for the season. Not a setback, but now out. I would have to disagree with Stephanie White, though, as I believe that being out for the season is likely a significant setback. And of course, the 3 players with whom I was particularly in tune, Chloe Bibby, the red kryptonite herself, recently joined the squad and is now out for the season. No Sophie, no Chloe, no Caitlin. Due to a left knee injury, Chloe Bibby will be out for the rest of the season. Fans are shocked by how rapidly her circumstances altered, as this is already the 4th season-ending injury for the Fever. It has been sad for the team's injury luck. It's right here. Due to a left knee injury, Chloe Bibby will be out for the rest of the season. I can't even recall what happened to Chloe Bibby at this point. Did she sustain any injuries during practice? Nothing was visible to me in the game. During the game, I didn't observe anything. Perhaps I'm missing something. Furthermore, I must admit that I have never witnessed a squad sustain so many injuries. I mean, there are so many injuries on this team. The coach is suffering from an injury. Did anyone notice Keith Porter sitting on the sidelines with that boot on his leg during the most recent game? Oh my God. Stephanie White revealed that Chloe Bibby will miss the remainder of the season due to a flare-up in her knee while traveling. Her season is now over because of what was once written off as not being a setback. Bree Hall was signed by the Fever on a hardship waiver right away to take Bibby's spot. Chloe Bibby is not present. However, because it appears that Caitlin Clark will not be returning for the remainder of the season, I would like to start with her injury update. Do not quote me now, as I have no right to determine if she is or is not. Naturally, the response is unclear as usual, and this is what Stephanie White responded when she was questioned about it during today's practice. Chloe Bibby's injury has been addressed with by the Indiana Fever. 2 weeks ago, Chloe Bibby was described as day-to-day. She suddenly transitions from day-to-day to playing again. Then all of a sudden, she's back on the team for a match. She was abruptly removed from the roster because they didn't play her. That Chloe Bibby's injury has been handled by the Indiana Fever. I'm not out here claiming that Chloe Bibby's injuries are due to the Fever training crew. Actually, I'm not claiming that, and I doubt that I'm unaware of it. However, what I mean to say is that 2 weeks ago, Chloe Bibby was classed as day-to-day. She was going from day-to-day 2 weeks ago, and then she suddenly started playing again. She lived day-to-day. She was practicing when all of a sudden she started playing again. For a game, she is back on the roster. She wasn't played by them. Despite being on the roster, they gave her a DMP. She became more comfortable. Chloe Bibby will miss the rest of the season, it was recently reported. Broke his Achilles tendon, and it was recently revealed that Chloe Bibby would miss the rest of the season. This, incidentally, demonstrates that you should not believe Stephanie White when she states that Bibby didn't have what she would describe as a setback. Forward Chloe Bibby will miss the rest of the season because of a left knee injury, the Indiana Fever announced Wednesday. Claims that Chloe Bibby, a forward for the Indiana Fever, will miss the rest of the season because of a left knee injury, the team stated today. Additionally, the Indiana Fever signed guard Bree Hall to a hardship contract for the remainder of the season. Chloe Bibby signed a 7-day deal with the Indiana Fever on July 25th. Bree Hall is returning to Indianapolis, and Chloe Bibby is out for the season. Bree Hall is returning to Indianapolis, and Chloe Bibby is out for the season. Unfortunately, Chloe Bibby, who is an amazing and effective player, will not be playing for the Indiana Fever for the rest of the season. Fans immediately pointed out the discrepancy in Stephanie White's statement that there was no setback, only some edema from the trip. However, swelling while flying is obviously a setback. Everyone began to doubt the reality when Chloe Bibby was declared out for the season in a matter of days. However, when questioned about this, Stephanie White stated that there was only a slight amount of puffiness due to travel and no setback. We all agreed, saying, "She's just defined a setback." She just stated that there isn't a setback before defining one. Swelling while traveling is a setback, they said. Unless they put her on the active roster when they needed more than 8 players, because they knew she was out for the season, but also knew she wasn't good for it. In a rage, fans demanded that the Fever terminate their medical and training personnel. People commented that the situation was strange and that the team's doctors were inadequate. The fact that Chloe Bibby left as soon as she returned devastated many. Due to injury, half of the team is out. Yes. And we are merely examining some rebuttals and retorts from Fever fans. Fire your inept medical and training personnel. This Apple brand is completely bad. Although she is now out for the season, White stated that there has been no setback. Your medical and training staff should be fired for being incompetent or for talking out of turn. Why replace a shooter with a non-shooter? Our scoring is insufficient. Yes, in order to cover for Chloe Bibby's knee injury, we brought in Bree Hall. Bree Hall signed a hardship contract with the Fever, but this only served to emphasize how dire things have gotten. It is heartbreaking to replace Bibby so late in the season after the squad has had 4 season-ending injuries. This art is insane. In her place, the Fever have signed Bree Hall to a hardship contract. Let's take a closer look at what's happening with the Indiana Fever. According to this article with an Indy Star, it's clear that BBY had a setback severe enough to disqualify her for the season. The Fever's regular season is coming to an end, on the 9th when they play Minnesota. All of this we already know, don't we? Assuming they were born for the playoffs. The Fever signed Bree Hall, their 20th overall pick in the 2025 WNBA draft, to make up for BBY's injury. Stephanie White acknowledged that Caitlin Clark hasn't been allowed to practice full contact when questioned about the situation between her and BBY. In the meantime, BBY was declared out after her knee flared up. Fans have become irritated and strung along as a result of this inconsistency. I won't say that it appears she will return to the public eye. Additionally, it appears that she has not been able to practice contact. Thus, we may not see characters like Caitlin Clark this season. I'm telling you, the Indiana Fever's inconsistency is their only constant. The reason for the frequent injuries is that Chloe Bibby will miss the remainder of the season due to a knee injury that was not expected to be a setback. Because she doesn't fit, we were thinking of cutting her anyhow. Additionally, we may bring in a hardship player more quickly if she is sidelined for the season due to an injury. For example, having 3 games left in the season and being declared out for the entire season. The injury could last for 2 weeks. Even though it might only last 2 weeks, they might say, well, you know what? We were considering cutting her anyway. Because she doesn't fit. At least if she's out for the season due to a season injury and we can bring in a hardship player sooner rather than later, we won't have to cut her and wait until we sign someone or something. Bree Hall signed a contract for the remainder of the season. With Caitlin Clark, the Fever have now suffered many season-ending injuries. Remains out, but a lot of them, like Sims and now Hall, will be eligible for the playoffs if they decide to keep her. Therefore, let's keep that in mind for her remarks against Caitlin Clark as well. Regarding the con, still sidelined, but many of them will be playoff eligible, including Sims, and now Hall should they elect to keep her. So, let's put that in our back pocket when it comes to what she says about Caitlin Clark as well. As far as the repercussions of this, Well, Bree Hall was signed to a rest-of-season contract. The Fever have numerous season-ending injuries now. Obviously, Aari McDonald, Sydney Colson, Chloe Bibby, to name a few, with Caitlin Clark still sidelined. What this means for Clark is essentially nothing, because they still would have to get rid of one of the hardship players when she comes back. But many of them will be playoff eligible, including Sims, and now Hall should they elect to keep her. The Indiana Fever have signed guard Bree Hall to a rest-of-season hardship contract. Chloe Bibby joined the Indiana Fever July 25th by a 7-day contract and was later signed through the rest of the season. Says the Indiana Fever announced today that forward Chloe Bibby will miss the remainder of the season due to a left knee injury. And in a related move, the Indiana Fever have signed guard Bree Hall to a rest-of-season hardship contract. Chloe Bibby joined the Indiana Fever July 25th via a 7-day contract and was later signed through the rest of the season, is expected to make a full recovery. Bree Hall was drafted by Indiana number 20 overall. Bree Hall is officially under contract with the Indiana Fever for the duration of the season she has made the roster. Bree Hall has signed with the Fever for the rest of the season. So Bree Hall is officially under contract with the Indiana Fever for the duration of the season. So basically, she is no longer on a rookie contract. I mean, she is no longer on a draft situation trying to make the roster. She has made the roster. And yeah, man, Chloe Bibby was ruled out for the season just days after Stephanie White said swelling wasn't a setback. With only 3 games left, this could have been a short-term injury, but the Fever used it as a way to sign a replacement quickly. The handling of her removal shocked many. What the hell's going on? Like, it's gotten to the stage where you even heard Chloe Peterson talking about it 4 days after Steph said she didn't consider swelling and Chloe Bibby's knee to be a setback. Bibby has been ruled out for the season, and it's the one thing, it might be a minor injury, like being ruled out for the season is like being ruled out for the season because there's 3 games, there's a week left in the season. It could be a 2-week-long injury. It could be a 2-week-long injury, and simultaneously while being a 2-long injury, it could be something that they're like, well, you know what? We were considering cutting her anyway. Fans believe the situation has become a complete disgrace. They called for a league-wide investigation, saying too many players are going down with season-ending injuries. BBY's loss added to the anger, and many no longer trust what the Fever say about injuries. Our plan sabotage. No way in hell you're losing this many players to season-ending injuries. The WNBA and Fever organization is a disgrace to basketball. Then and now. Look, they wouldn't be taking so much shrapnel if you hadn't had multiple situations where things are so cloudy involving injuries. That's the reason they're taking so much heat. Oh, not a setback, ankle out of nowhere, blah, blah, blah. I mean, yeah, it's with Chloe Bibby's season-ending knee injury. The Fever are now suffering from 4 major injuries at once. The roster is full of hardship contracts, and the team is shrinking in height and depth. This injury storm has completely derailed their season. And because they just can't catch a break? You feel me? I mean, come on, dog. No break at all. Injury after injury after injury. Injuries has ruined the Indiana Fever season completely. Injuries have ruined our enjoyment on watching Indiana Fever. It is nonsensical work. How injuries is plaguing this team. I've never seen this ever in my life, where a team injuries are just piling up like a football pile. Like somebody fumbled the ball and everybody's jumping on top of it. Never seen it, fam. BBY's injury made her the 4th Fever player to go out with a season-ending problem. While Caitlin Clark hasn't officially been ruled out, the uncertainty leaves fans frustrated. BBY's absence is another heartbreaking blow in a season already defined by injuries. It is the consistent injuries happening because Chloe Bibby, although her knee injury was supposed to not be a setback, is out for the rest of the season. She was taken off the injury report and she did travel with the team to the West Coast. But, according to Steph White, all the traveling kind of flared up her knee, but apparently at the time was not a setback, and today she has been ruled out for the season. Stephanie White was asked about this, and her words were that there was no setback. Just a little bit of swelling because of traveling. She just said there's no setback, and then defined a setback. Look, it's one thing like it's setbacks from injuries happen. That happens all the time that a player comes back from injury a little bit too early, and they end up having a setback, and they're out. But Stephanie White was asked about this, and her words were that there was no setback, just a little bit of swelling because of traveling. And we all said it, and we were like, she's just defined a setback. She just said there's no setback and then defined a setback, and they're like East Welling while traveling is a setback. Unless, of course, they knew she was out for the season. Clearly, it's a setback when you were back in the lineup and then you're back out and then you're out for the season. I would call that the definition of a setback. So Chloe Bibby was out and then back in and then back out again. And that's why Stephanie White was asked that question. Clearly it's a setback when you were back in the lineup and then you're back out. And then you're out for the season. I would call that the definition of a setback. So again, whether you go back to the Dana Bonner situation or Caitlin Clark's injury situation or this, you can't take Stephanie White's public comments about these things at face value. And in a sense, that's part of the job. I would like more transparency. I would like to not feel like I'm being deceived. We had plenty of games where Chloe Bibby was playing 6 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, and it's just like, it's impossible for somebody to be impactful in that amount of time. She signed for the rest of the season, and it's kind of like Stephanie White just went away from her. We had plenty of games where Chloe Bibby was playing 6 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, and it's just like, it's impossible for somebody to be impactful in that amount of time. So, really, really unfortunate that we have lost Chloe Bibby. She's a sniper. And I'm hoping that this team gives her a look next season, because I would love for Chloe Bibby to have a chance to be on this roster next season. Last time we seen Chloe Bibby top golf. Telling you, there go right there. The last time we seen her, they don't want to admit it. There it is. There go Chloe Bibby right here. Told you. Top golf. Here you go. Right here. Last time we seen Chloe Bibby. Top golf. Telling you. There it go. Right there. The last time we seen her. They don't want to admit it. They don't want to admit it. They don't want to admit this. It was at that moment her season was over with. This whole situation is just a disaster for the Fever. Even the most incompetent training staff shouldn't have this many injuries. There needs to be a league-wide investigation into transparency. This is damn ridiculous. So, yeah, that's pretty much it, lads. That's pretty much it for me anyway. This whole situation is just a disaster for the Fever. But I also don't think the Fever have done a good job. Like, again, there's no way even the most incompetent training staff should not have this amount of injuries. There needs to be a league-wide investigation in transparency. This is damn ridiculous now. Fire Stephanie White. Does anyone believe a word that Stephanie White says? No, I do not. He asked Chloe Peterson. I'm answering you, Larry McReynolds. They'll have 4 hardship contracts as long as Caitlin Clark is out. That's how bad the injury situation has become. Fans feel strung along the entire season. Huddle up really means figuring out how to word the PR statement shutting her down. It's an all-around bad situation for the Fever, for Caitlin, for Chloe Bibby, and for the fans who just wanted to watch basketball. They'll have 4 hardships as long as Caitlin Clark is out. Now, that's my thing. They did sign Bree Hall, but I feel like Bree Hall is like a shooting guard. I don't really feel like she's a forward or anything. I don't know. Maybe I haven't watched her enough. For pretty much the entire season, one person commented, "Strong fans on long enough. Huddle up." Meaning figure out how to word the PR statement shutting her down for the season. But they deserve more money because of the amount of fans, the amount of people that are showing up to games. They deserve more money because of the relevance of the league right now. They don't but that's why they deserve more money. It's nothing to do with the level of play. Chloe Bibby season may be over, but the heartbreak is far from forgotten. Don't miss the updates.